I heard his name was Israel Hands. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
After the breathtaking battle in last week's premiere episode, this week the pirates were left to lick their wounds. A retaliation effort was put into place after their demoralising defeat, but it wasn't long until Flint and Billy's contrasting views came to a head. Their conflict and disagreement stretches back all the way to the beginning of Season 1, and whether or not we had to believe that Flint had a hand in attempting to kill Billy back then, their resentment for one another is at an all-time high, and it boiled over this week as the pirates began to crumble again by inciting a civil war. It actually shocked me as Billy interrupted Flint screaming "Fire!" and then charged straight at his captain, but when you think about it, it isn't all that surprising. Billy has been practically chomping at the bit trying to get rid of Flint for a long time now, and Silver was the man he had in mind to replace and lead the pirates. But as Billy thinks he's perished in the massacre last week, his contingency has pretty much gone up in smoke. I think more so than not, that initial charge was all that pent-up frustration and rage that has been building up inside him. Billy's always been the moral compass for the pirates, the one that the men look towards. But his vision was always very narrow compared to Flint's. Sure, Flint is cold-hearted and would leave half of his men for dead if it meant it secured him a victory, but I think Billy made a big mistake in attacking Flint. It gave us an encounter that I didn't realise I wanted so much until after I saw it. Both traded blows as Flint looked to have the upper hand, and then the militia stopped it. Now looking back, Billy is going to lose most of his men because of that sudden attack, and we're even unsure if he joined his men against the militia or if he followed Flint in retreat. Either way, I think he will regret his actions, as it only goes to further weaken the pirates' stance in Nassau. Perhaps once Silver returns to the fold, he will be able to set him straight. Well, I'm sure he'll be able to, as he demonstrated his masterful way with words again, creating an ally out of new player Israel Hands. Hands is a former friend and shipmate of Edward Teach, who is ever so deadly when deployed in combat. Hands initially was looking to sell Silver for 500 pieces of gold, but after listening to what he had to say and hearing his intentions for Nassau's future, Hands showed his true stance as he helped him against Max's guards. Now, I've said this in one of my season reviews, I've never really been a fan of Max. She's always been very distrustful and eager to jump sides whenever it suits her. But now I think she realises the lingering threat of Berenger lurking around her, because if she did take Silver up on his offer of owing him, which she does, she could be easily hanging a noose for herself. That, I presume, is the reason why she chose to reject Silver and attempt to take him captive. Of course, that all went south pretty swiftly as Israel Hands cut through her men with ease, but in terms of decision making, that one right there could determine her final outcome. And the game of cat and mouse has well and truly begun now, as Teach raised anchor in pursuit of Governor Rogers. As expected, he was never going to hand over his wife to Teach in his demands, but his escape plan in luring Teach after him to allow Eleanor's safe passage is not one of his brightest ideas. I know his plan is to outrun Teach, but he's outgunned and outmanned, so if he makes one mistake, the war for Nassau could effectively be over, and that is why I'm not so convinced. I don't think Rogers is on board. At the moment, I'm inclined to think it's all a ruse, a trap of some sorts, as his smart tactics that he's produced thus far just don't match up here. Yes, emotion could be a key factor as to why he's throwing caution to the wind. And we heard from Jack himself that the scouts saw the governor get on board. But still, I ain't so sure. He could have easily slipped away under the cover of night to begin his true plan. But whichever way it's heading, the war is not over.
For any man who offers resistance to that militia will be held responsible for the consequences.
My overall verdict for this week's episode of Black Sails is a solid 8 out of 10. The action shifted away from the waterfront this week as the infighting between the pirates began. It gave us a short but thrilling battle between two of our main characters, and right now, the pirates' numbers are getting smaller and smaller. It's hard to see them salvaging any sort of victory at the moment, but for that to become a reality, the pirates must put aside their differences. The man needed for that is now out of his chains, and for all the pirates' sakes, Silver needs to be back with them right now. Aside from that brief battle sequence, I have to say Silver's dialogue with Israel Hands was my standout moment of the week. Hands immediately has become a major player, and to see someone like him, with a backstory as rich as his, be manipulated by Silver in chains, then to see him risk his life saving him at the end, is a hell of an accomplishment. It's a testament to the character's way with words, which has always been a trait to define the Long John Silver character. So to see more of this on the forefront is going to add greater depth to Silver's legend. And as it turns out, you were right to think last week that Maddie was using a lie to elevate her status. Silver never told her the location of the gold, and Flint had figured that out pretty much instantly. He was content though for now to see things play out, but now with the plantations having separated their slaves to punish any uprising attempt, the hopes of increasing and filling out their ranks have all but gone now. It's back to the drawing board for Flint, as he will undoubtedly try to find another way to reclaim his home. But I think the only way he's going to achieve that is with his quartermaster at his side. So what did you guys think about this week's episode of Black Sails, and what is your view on Flint and Billy's conflict? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the review. And I'll see you on the next one.
I am a new beginning for Nassau. And you trade all of that for... what? 500 pieces.